On August 29th, 2005, a massive surge of seawater, known as Hurricane Katrina, pummeled onto the coast of New Orleans. Many people evacuated, although some refused or didn't make it out in time. 80% of New Orleans was flooded, leading to numerous homes that were lost in the storm. While most people lived, they did not survive the devastation of losing everything that they owned. Like with anything, there were many factors that contributed to the failure of the levees to protect New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina, a storm the size they were designed to withstand. New Orleans is below sea level, and maintenance could have played a role, but so did a change in the initial design.
For 36 years, Hurricane Camille had been the worst storm anybody in Mississippi could remember. That all changed in 2005.
We didn't have any model to follow. The Federal Disaster Assistance Act, the Stafford Act, doesn't even contemplate a disaster of this size.
During the build process, the Army Corps of Engineers changed the design. It appears to me that when they did so, they broke the ASC code points 1A, 1D, 1H, 1I, 2C, 3A, 4A, 4D, and 5I. Here's why. Instead of 46-foot deep steel pilings, they now only went into the ground 16 feet. Why did they decide to reduce the pilings to 1/3 of the original length? Well, it saved them $100 million in the cost of steel and installation. But it cost New Orleans $160 billion in damages when the levees failed. They made the decision based on an overestimation of soil strength in the area, which compounded with other minor calculation errors. They did retest the levees with the proposed change. However, an error occurred during testing. Due to the model being covered by a tarp, they did not see the frightening lean of the levees under the simulated water pressure. By missing this warning sign, they were not protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the public, nor were they mitigating the adverse effects. They also did not reevaluate the situation when new information and computer models became available in the 1990s. So the levees broke. How did the Army Corps of Engineers respond? I can tell you they didn't say, "Hey y'all, I think that's on us. We kind of changed the design a couple years ago to save us some money. Sorry about that." No, they escaped Congress's intense questioning process and put all the blame on the maintenance and the location. It's your own fault for living there. You're the ones under sea level. By blaming the people of New Orleans, the government was mostly freed from the responsibility of paying for damages. Note that the citizens of New Orleans were not told of the design change that had the potential to reduce the safety of that area. Having lost their homes, and equally as important, having lost their communities, New Orleans evacuees had to rebuild their lives. How would you feel if a natural disaster destroyed your home and you were told, "Too bad you decided to live there. I know you thought it was safe, but clearly it wasn't"? As an engineer, I will have a responsibility to hold others accountable to ensuring the safety of anyone impacted by a structure that I'm involved with building. I would question a design change that reduced the support of the structure by 2/3. It is my ethical responsibility to bring my concerns to the attention of my coworkers and my supervisors. When I hear of a design change, I have to say, "Do you really think that's right?" I have to talk to my coworkers and see what they think, followed by possibly bringing the issue up with my supervisor. If I were to design a building that collapses, that's on me, and I would be responsible for the death of so many people. I want to do everything in my power to avoid that situation, because I know it would make me feel terrible. I have heard of many instances where a mid-build design change was made, resulting in detrimental errors to the structure. It has made me cautious to review every design change thoroughly. By lying, the Army Corps of Engineers failed to act with integrity and uphold the honor and dignity of the profession. While difficult, when I make a mistake, because someday I will, as much as I'd love to be perfect, When I make a mistake, I want to have the courage to confess to the mistake and set it right. The devastation of Hurricane Katrina could have been avoided in many steps along the way, during the initial build, during maintenance, and even by providing support to the evacuees. As much as we have heard that it was a big, terrible, scary storm, it was not the storm itself that was terrible, so much as the engineering and ethical failures that led to the disaster that ensued.